Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. I'm Patrick, flying solo. So the Warriors, they lost game one to the Sacramento Kings, 126-123 in Sacramento. And I gotta say, it burns. It burns because it really felt like this was a game that the Warriors should have had, but, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That being said, though, in these kinds of 7-game series, when you're the road team, you just need one out of the first two. And, a couple days ago, if you told me that the Warriors would lose the first one, I'd be like, okay, that's fine, So I don't want to get too, worked up over one game. But hey, the Kings, they showed me something in this one. We knew they were good, but I got to say, I'm really, really impressed by De'Aaron Fox. I remember watching the guy at Kentucky when it was him and Malik Monk, but I really, really didn't think after his first couple years in the league that he would be. I thought he'd be more of like just a stats kind of guy, a guy who didn't really win games, and he would just, put up big numbers, and he was kind of like that up until this season. So credit to him, Mike Brown, his teammates, and all that stuff. So, he and Malik Monk pretty much saved the Kings in this one. But, going back to the Warriors, I will say that being a little uncertain, as we had been throughout the season about which team would show up, I was really pleasantly surprised in the first half. The Warriors, they came out focused with the effort, the energy. They were hitting shots. Clay looked amazing in the first, and it looked like they came to play, right? It was all about more or less withstanding that initial Sacramento Kings adrenaline-filled push. The Warriors hung tough. They had the lead. It was one of those games where, I was like, oh, okay, this feels like the kind of game the Warriors usually win. But again, usually is a word that kind of went out the door this past season. So things were rolling, and into the third quarter, the Warriors, they built up a 10, 12-point lead. And to be honest, I was like, okay, this is it. This is when they push it up to 15, 17, and the Kings fold. But clearly that did not happen. Steph went to the bench, and at the end of the third, the Warriors lost a lot of their lead and gave the Kings a lot of momentum. And then the Kings moved ahead early in the fourth, and it just went back and forth from there. And at the end of the day, the Warriors did not hit enough shots. It's interesting to me because at halftime, the Warriors from three were shooting not great, 32%, but the Kings were only shooting 24%. But then by the end of the game, the Warriors, they shot 32%, and then the Kings bumped up to 37.5%. So they just got hot. They hit a bunch of shots. Those two guards, they are quick and they can score like crazy, just like they did at Kentucky. What impressed me about Fox is his shot from the outside, his three, and then also that kind of fadeaway step back that he has in the lane. That thing is tough. He is tough. So it's up to Steve Kerr. It's up to the coaching staff to figure out, make those adjustments, because that's what a 7-game series is about, is making adjustments. So whether it's putting someone with more length, whether it's Wiggins, putting him on Fox, or, Kuminga in greater stretches, we'll see. We'll see. We talked a lot about the Warriors perimeter defenders and how they have several of them. But again, Monk and Fox just kept taking them off the dribble and doing things. On that note, though, the Warriors, they here's the thing, right? Like, if you're Mike Brown and you're down by 10 or 12, it's like everyone knows, they should know. If I was a coach, I would say to my team, yo, the Warriors give up double digit leads all the time. And we can make them do it again. And it happened. It happened, right? The Warriors, again, a little live and die by the three. They shot 53s, 16 for 50, and they shot 19 threes in the fourth quarter alone. And I think they were like 6 of 19 or something like that. You know, when you are jacking up that many shots and missing a bunch, those are long rebounds, those are missed opportunities. You add in the fact that the Warriors were in the bonus in the fourth quarter, which, you know, as you know, doesn't happen that often, that the Warriors are in the bonus that early in any quarter ahead of their opponent. So when you have that, it's like, hey, attack the basket, get to the free throw line. Those are easy points. Plus, you know, someone like Malik Monk, he was in foul trouble for a lot of the game. So you could have gotten him out of the game. And I think those are things where they left the door open that allowed the Kings to have some life. That combined with the fact that the Kings were hitting a bunch of shots. So that attention to detail, kind of situational awareness, is something that disappointed me, surprised me, you know, because they had started off so well. Sometimes, though, you hit some shots, you fall in love with the three, and that becomes your undoing to some extent. At the end of the game, Andrew Wiggins, he played well in the first half, put up some shots and made some shots, 6 for 8 or something like that. And then the second half, I mean, at the end of the day, he was 1 for 8 from 3. And the last Warriors like full possession was Clay driving into the lane, kicking it out to Andrew Wiggins, who took the corner 3 and he missed. In the post-game interview, he said it felt good. And, you know, that's usually a great shot. But the thing is, again, he was 1 for 8 in the game, 1 for 7 up until that point. And me personally, again, because the Warriors were in the bonus, Clay looked like he had a floater, a push shot, or could have gotten a layup or fouled, or could have kicked it out to Steph. But, you know, kicking out to Wiggins, normally I'm good to go with that. But he wasn't shooting it well. He was making shots early, but his legs weren't there and he missed. So that is kind of a bummer. They're only down by 1. So if Clay goes in and hits a 2, they're up. Changes the kind of dynamic of the next possession, a little bit of a butterfly effect. And then the final chance they had was with 2.9 seconds. Steph gets the ball top of the arc and does like a one-footed floater and missed it, and you go home. You know, that's that. So it's tough to lose in that way, but I feel fine. You know, I feel fine about this team. I hope that they can figure out some ways to slow those Kings guards down. But, you know, at the end of the day, you just need to get one out of these 2. I mean, in the next one, you don't expect De'Aaron Fox to go off like that again. Exactly. You don't expect Malik Monk either to go 14 and 14 from the line. But then, you know, you expect maybe Sabonis will have a much better game. So it will be interesting to see how both of these teams adjust. Again, props to the Kings and to Mike Brown for getting this one. But the most important thing to me, you know, besides the fact that the Warriors didn't get the win, was that for the most part, they looked locked in, and that's what you want to see. So there's a pretty solid performance on the road, and you want to see them just close it out in the next one. But hey, let's be honest, this gives the Kings a ton of confidence. I'm sure that they were already pretty confident, but if there were any questions about them folding under the bright lights, the pressure, whatnot, those have been answered. You know, I mean, we'll see what happens when they have to hit the road. But the Kings, they are legit. They are 100% legit. And I don't think, at least most people who are reasonable amongst Warriors fans. I don't think anybody denied that, but we wanted to see what the Kings had, and this was an impressive performance. So it's going to be an entertaining series, and I'm still, I said Warriors in 6, but that's why you play the games. So we'll go on from there.